Welcome in, beautiful souls. So you think you know about powerful deities? Let me introduce you to one of the coolest, most misunderstood goddesses to ever walk the sands of Egypt, Serqet. You might see her name spelled a few different ways, like Selket or Selket, because ancient Egyptians didn't bother with vowels much. It probably drove their teachers crazy. Her name means something like she who causes the throat to breathe, which is a pretty epic title. It's also a little ironic, considering she's the goddess of scorpions, whose sting can, do the exact opposite. But that's the thing about Serqet. She's full of surprises. She's not just about the deadly venom, she's about the cure too. She holds the power of life and death in one neat, scorpion-tailed package. Now, when you picture a goddess of scorpions, you might imagine someone scary, all dark and gloomy, probably listening to some intense heavy metal music. But Serqet wasn't like that. She was seen as a benevolent, helpful goddess, a friend to have on your side when things got tough. Her symbol was, obviously, the scorpion, and she was often depicted as a beautiful woman with a scorpion perched on her head like a very pointy, slightly terrifying crown. Sometimes she was even shown as a scorpion with a woman's head. Ancient Egyptians were super creative with their gods, mixing and matching parts like they were building with divine Legos. Forget what you think you know about scary creatures. Serqet was here to help, not to hurt. Her full name, Serqet Hetu, translates to she who causes the throat of the house to breathe. This little detail is super important. It links her not just to breathing in general, but to giving breath to those who have passed on. In the dry, hot climate of Egypt, a scorpion sting was a very real, very immediate danger. So, having a goddess who could not only protect you from it, but also heal you from it was a huge deal. People would pray to her to keep scorpions away from their homes and to cure them if they were unlucky enough to get stung. She was the ultimate emergency service, the divine 911 operator for all things venomous and life-threatening. This duality is what makes Serqet so fascinating. She represents a fundamental truth. The thing that can harm you often holds the key to healing you. Think about it. Modern antivenom is made from venom itself. The Egyptians understood this concept thousands of years ago, and they wrapped it all up in the form of this amazing goddess. She wasn't a villain. She was a master of a dangerous but essential power. She controlled the poison, which meant she also controlled the antidote. She was the one you wanted in your corner when you were facing down something deadly, whether it was a real scorpion or just one of life's many metaphorical stings. Serqet's job description was pretty impressive. She wasn't just hanging around looking cool with her scorpion hat. She had one of the most important gigs in the entire Egyptian pantheon, protecting the dead. When a pharaoh or any important person died, their organs were removed and placed in special containers called canopic jars. These weren't just decorative pots, they were essential for the soul's journey into the afterlife. Each jar was guarded by a specific deity, and Serqet was one of the 4 guardians. She was basically part of the ultimate divine security team, making sure nobody messed with the VIPs on their way to eternal life. It was a high-stakes job with no room for error. Her specific assignment was to guard the canopic jar containing the intestines. This jar was linked to a being named Qebehsenuef, one of the 4 sons of Horus. Why the intestines? Well, the Egyptians believed every part of the body was important for rebirth. The intestines were associated with poison and decay, so it makes perfect sense that the goddess who could neutralize venom would be in charge of them. She was there to purify them and protect them, ensuring the deceased could be made whole again in the afterlife. Without her, the soul's journey could come to a very messy, very permanent end. She was the gatekeeper against corruption, both literal and spiritual. But her role as protector didn't stop there. Serqet was also one of the 4 goddesses, along with Isis, Nephthys and Neith, who guarded the sarcophagus of the pharaoh. You can even see her golden statue guarding King Tutankhamun's canopic shrine in his tomb. She was literally a bodyguard for the king's eternal rest. Imagine being so powerful that a king trusts you to keep his soul safe for all eternity. That's Serqet for you. She used her sting not to harm, but to strike down any evil spirits or tomb robbers who dared to disturb the peace of the dead. She was a fierce, loyal protector. The kind of friend you'd want watching your back in a dark alley, or a spooky tomb. Back in the world of the living, Serqet was the go-to goddess for healing. She was the patron deity of a special group of priests who were basically ancient scorpion venom doctors. These healers specialized in curing stings and bites from venomous creatures. They would use magic and medical knowledge, often invoking Serqet's name in their spells and remedies. So she wasn't just a figure you prayed to from afar. Her power was actively channeled by people on the ground, saving lives every day. She was both a divine concept and a practical source of help, bridging the gap between the gods and humanity in a very real, life-saving way. Now for the juicy gossip. Did the Scorpion Queen have a king, a few little scorpion princes or princesses running around? The short answer is nope. Unlike many of the major Egyptian gods who were part of complicated family trees that would make a soap opera look simple, Serqet was a fiercely independent goddess. There are no credible ancient myths or texts that give her a husband or children. She was a standalone powerhouse, an unattached deity who was too busy saving lives and guarding souls to get tied down. Honestly, you have to respect the focus. She had a job to do, and she did it without any distractions. This independence is a huge part of her character. She wasn't defined by her relationship to a male god. She wasn't someone's wife or someone's mother. She was Serqet. Her power and importance came from her own abilities and her own domain. In some later, less common myths, she is sometimes associated with Horus as a wife, but these are rare and not part of her core identity. For the most part, she was seen as a virgin goddess, dedicated to her sacred tasks. This made her a symbol of self-sufficiency and strength, a goddess who didn't need anyone else to validate her existence or her power. She was complete all on her own. This is where she gets a bit of a Scorpio vibe, and I mean the zodiac sign. Scorpios are often misunderstood. People think they're all about secrets and stinging, but they're also incredibly loyal, perceptive and protective. They say a Scorpio can see through cement, and that's Serqet. She saw through the veil between life and death. She saw the poison and the cure, and she saw the truth in people's hearts. She knew who needed protection and who needed a taste of her divine justice. Like her astrological counterparts, she had a tough exterior that hid a deeply caring nature. She wasn't scary for the sake of being scary. Her intensity was a tool for protection. Both Serqet and Scorpios get a bad rap for their sting. People focus on the danger and miss the point entirely. The sting represents power, but power can be used for good. Serqet's sting was aimed at evil, at chaos, at anything that threatened the balance of the world. It was a defensive weapon, not an offensive one. She reminds us that the most powerful people and gods aren't the ones who cause the most harm, but the ones who know when to use their strength to defend the vulnerable. She was the ultimate protector, and if you were on her good side, you had nothing to fear from her sting. So, is an ancient Egyptian goddess with a scorpion on her head still relevant in our world today on July 2nd, 2025? Absolutely. Serqet represents something timeless, the power of truth and authenticity. She wasn't a goddess of grand illusions or flashy miracles. Her magic was rooted in the real world, in the very real danger of a scorpion's sting and the very real possibility of a cure. She was honest. Her power was clear, direct and undeniable. In a world full of fake news and people pretending to be something they're not, a goddess who is exactly who she says she is feels more important than ever. She's a symbol of facing reality head-on. The history behind her is solid. We're not just making this stuff up. Her statues have been found in the most sacred places like King Tut's tomb. Her name is written in the pyramid texts, some of the oldest religious writings in the world. This isn't some minor goddess who showed up for a cameo. She was a core part of the Egyptian belief system for thousands of years. She was trusted by pharaohs and commoners alike. That kind of legacy isn't built on flimsy myths. It's built on a deep cultural understanding of the world. A world where danger and healing are two sides of the same coin, and where a powerful goddess helps you navigate both. Her power wasn't just about physical healing either. It was about spiritual purification. By guarding the intestines, she was guarding the part of the body most susceptible to decay. Symbolically, she was the one who could cleanse you of your inner poisons, your fears, your doubts, your regrets, so you could enter the afterlife pure and whole. She teaches us that true strength isn't about avoiding the messy parts of life or death, but about having the courage to face them, clean them up, and move forward. She's the divine Marie Kondo of the soul, asking, does this spiritual poison spark joy? No, let's get rid of it. And for those who truly believe, Serqet is not just a figure from a history book. Deities don't just vanish when their temples fall. Their stories, their energy, and their power linger. Believers say that Serqet still appears to those who need her protection, to those who are honest and seek her help with a pure heart. She is the whisper of courage when you face a toxic situation, the strength to heal from a painful wound, and the fierce loyalty of a true protector. She is the goddess who causes the throat to breathe, and for those who listen, she still offers a breath of life when it's needed most. You just have to be brave enough to ask. When you call upon Serqet, speak in the present. Be specific. Feel it through every cell in your body. Visualize in detail. Repetition here is key. Have you heard of Goddess Serqet? Everything is changing, not only systems in the world, but also our views on the zodiac sign Scorpio. Scorpio is the most misunderstood sign. To all my Scorpios out there, this video is dedicated to all of you. Keep stinging with truth. Like and subscribe for more.